Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Winter Pilates. My name is Naomi Reinharz. I'm the Chief Development Officer of the America-Israel Friendship League. I'm normally in New York today. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, where it is an hour behind, so it is the morning here. Thanks to everyone who's joining us from across the United States, around Israel, around the world. As always, please put in the chat on Zoom and on Facebook Live where you're calling in from. We always love to hear where our audience is. Please tell us if this is your first time doing Pilates with us or if this is your 12th time doing Pilates with us. We welcome everyone of all different backgrounds and experience levels. And as always, I'm delighted to partner with my partner in crime, Becky Bank Srour, in Israel, in Tel Aviv, in her home studio. And I see, Becky, that you have a menorah with us today, and you lit it. The Chanukiah, you're right, Chanukiah. And in Israel, it's evening time, right? So it's already the final night of Hanukkah, is that right?
Yep, yeah. My family's lighting candles.
Well, thank you for sharing it. And I see some dreidels. I don't know how many dreidels you've got. That's a lot of dreidels.
Yeah, a lot. We have a collection.
Do you know how many you have in your house?
How many we have? Oh,
yeah.
God. I think I can count at least 20 over here, and yeah, there are more.
My family has a menorah collection as well. I don't know how many we have,
nice.
But we like to connect them from around the world. So how have you been celebrating the holiday?
Yeah, as usual, it's been crazy, but fun. Yeah, we had a long day at Microsoft where my husband works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have these family days, so it's always amazing and fun. I said I'll move in there. It's a great place. And yeah, spending time with families and family and friends.
I'm sure there's a lot of presents. I know you have 3 daughters, so I'm sure that's a lot of presents and a lot of requests that they must give for 8 nights of Hanukkah.
You know, something we're pretty modest in that way. Yeah, try not to overdo it here. Get too many things during the rest of the year.
And I know last time I saw you was Halloween, so every time I see you, there's a different holiday that we're celebrating.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
I do love being in Israel during Hanukkah because you see all the menorahs and the Chanukiot in the windows, and it's all lit up, and it's a really great time to be.
Yeah, I love this holiday. It's just a nice, warm, good time of the year, and we're just starting to feel the winter over here. So.
Oh yeah, just be careful when you're doing any kicks or anything, you know.
I know, I'm constantly looking.
We don't want to have a hazardous situation in this webinar.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're not responsible for anything that happens. But I see people already saying that they're calling in from all across New York, Connecticut, Toronto, Detroit. Some are saying it's their first time with us. Some are saying it's multiple times. So just, you know, be aware of that as you're teaching and as you're showing people our moves. Can you tell everyone what we'll be doing today?
Yeah. So today we're going to be focusing on our feet. It's, I think, probably maybe second to the breathing, which we had the session 2 sessions ago. It's so important. That's our stability. It's our movement. And just like we have that sort of trampoline motion in our pelvic floor and our diaphragm, our feet are also supposed to move and respond in that way. I'll talk a little bit about the structure. So usually when we look at the foot, you see we have like the ball of the foot, we have the toes, and then the ball of our foot over here. And we've got the first, it's called the first head of the metatarsal, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, so the big one and the small, okay, balls of the foot, and then they are part of a tripod, which you know, the third leg would be the center of the heel. Okay, and so between them we actually have arches. Okay, and everyone knows this medial long arch, because, you know, sometimes you talk about the collapsed arch over there. And then there's also another one on the outer part. and one in between the first and the fifth. And there's also one right over here, okay? And it doesn't really matter how they look when you're just standing. It matters that they can do this motion, okay, of going down and up as we walk, as we bounce. Okay, so we're gonna be sort of feeling those areas in the feet. And obviously that's the base of our body. So from the center of the heel, we can sort of go up to our sit bones, okay, which are supposed to be placed right above the heels in a straight line when we're standing. And that connects through our pelvic floor all the way up to our spine, our throat, and to the crown of our head, okay? So our feet are really the base on which we are built, and we want to keep their flexibility, their stability, obviously to prevent falling and also to promote efficient motion, walking, running, jumping, stuff like that. And I know that there will be a lot of different people and levels and abilities here. So again, I really recommend going according to your own pace. It can get a little bit, the beginning is going to be pretty easy, but as we move on, we're going to increase the level. I always say bring some cushioning in case you need it. We're not going to be lying down today. We will go down to our knees a bit. And you can use a chair if you have to hold on, if we're standing on one foot. And I asked whoever can to bring some balls. I know it's not always easy to find them. See, I only have one of this, so I chose to use these, because I prefer using two. And if you don't have, then we can actually use a stick. For some of the motions, we might have to sort of twist it around, depending on what we're doing, okay?
So I brought one of these balls, so I'll use this. And I know that you said that even if most people have in their home a lemon, they can even use, something that they find in their kitchen if need be. It's not.
Oh, maybe a lemon.
Maybe 11. So
you might be sort of squishing it, making lemon juice.
Yeah, there you go.
You know something, actually those orange squeezers, that you squeeze, that can be used in certain places, but again, standing on it, I don't know. I actually prefer a stick. Okay. And then, you can put your foot on lengthwise or across, and we're going to go, be going back and forth and doing all kinds of things.
Perfect. Great. So if anyone doesn't have what they need, go run and get something quickly. And in the meantime,
exactly.
I think we can.
And this won't really be part of our workout, but I just want to show you the motions that we can do even sitting down in case you need it. You see, when I use the band, I put it underneath the ball of my foot, and my toes are sort of hiding behind it. Okay, and that way, if I want to get the motion, you see, I'm stretching my heel out and then pressing the ball of my foot on into it. Okay, and at the end, you see, I can also point my toes, and this is a great workout, if you're not able to stand, and you can be stretching your leg and doing all kinds of games like this, in and out rotations, and you see sort of working the tilts of the ankle, working inwards with your foot. You see, I'm pulling inwards, which actually I don't always find necessary, but outwards is something that people actually might have some trouble with, and it's worth working on. In this way, you'll feel the outer part of the shin, the peroneal muscles. Okay, so, if you're not able to do these things, the standing, a little bit of jumping, then still, I really encourage you just to find all kinds of things that you can do, or even think about. Think about it. It's also something, okay?
Great.
So here we go. I'll put the stick over here and I'll give a few suggestions with it as we go. Okay, so I'm taking these little balls and I'm going to be putting them, as I said, we have the first and the fifth metatarsals, and we're going to be putting them on the three others, okay, in the middle of the front of the foot, okay, under both feet. If you don't have it and you have one ball, you can either use it with one ball or, and this you might have to be careful with because your heel is on the stick. So maybe use a chair or something, okay? And of course, you should change your feet as you go. Okay, so I've got my toes not touching the ball. And I'm just gonna start sending them out, sending my toes outwards like a sun, okay? And try to lift the first and the fifth, okay? So I call this like an upside down umbrella, okay? So I'm pressing down into the ball and then I'm trying to sort of now become an umbrella with my feet and grab the ball. Now I'm not bending my toes. I'm actually keeping them as straight as I can and just using the ball of the foot to wrap around the ball, okay, or the stick or whatever you have, okay? So again, upside down umbrella that's flipped with the wind, okay? And then try to sort of scoop the ball, okay, with the first and fifth metatarsals, okay? Again, open up. And so I'm using my hands, and that's actually something that, you know, using the hands and seeing what they are doing also helps us work with our feet. Okay, again, open and close and grab. Okay, so I'm sort of forming this arch in the front of the foot. Again, open and close, and one more time. Open and close. Now, I also like every time we finish something, we can sort of step away and just see how things feel. Now we're gonna do one roll down, okay? And just try to notice how far you reach and how you feel, okay? So just put your head down and start rolling and relax, let your vertebrae relax. Inhale here at the bottom, and as you exhale, climb back up, relaxing the head, and come all the way back up again. Great. Okay, and now we're going to be working on this medial inner longitudinal arch, okay? So you see where I put it? Right in the middle, even a little bit towards the back, towards the heel, okay? I'm doing it with both feet if I can, or I can just, excuse me, stand on the bar, okay, sideways, okay? And I'm trying to get more pressure in the medial, the more central part of the foot, okay? Good. Try to spread your toes, okay? And then we're just gonna bend our knees and straighten them and bend. And as we bend, what we want to happen is sort of a slight flattening of that arch. So we're just letting the ball be there and spreading the foot on it, okay? Relax the foot. And then when you straighten your knees, you want to feel as if you're grabbing the ball, but not pinching it with your toes, not like this. So I'm spreading my toes and I want to try to sort of lift it from the ball of the foot that's trying to reach the heel. So I'm sort of bridging above and over the ball, okay? And again, I'm relaxing, letting my knees bend, and again, sort of sliding the toes towards the heels. Again, bend. So you might feel those arches really work, okay? And again, lift and bend and lift a few more times. Inhale as we go down, because we're relaxing, we're spreading everything, okay? We're letting things sort of melt into the ground or the balls. And as we come up, we're sliding our toes towards, not the toe, the ball of the foot towards the heel. Again, in and up. And also here, we're gonna do a roll down. Inhale and exhale to come back up. Okay, now we're gonna go to the lateral arch, okay? Lateral longitudinal arch. So that's the side of the foot. And you will feel there's this little bony area over here, okay? So that's where you want to put the ball. And the balls are sticking out a little from the side or the stick, okay? Whatever you've got. Okay, and just see how you feel over here, because it might feel a little bit weird, like it's tilting your ankles inwards, but still try to sort of spread your toes there. Okay, I'll move back a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so again, we're gonna bend, okay, and just let yourself melt into the floor. Exhale, stand up. And again, you're trying to grab the floor or the ball underneath you. In and exhale. Lift up. Inhale and lift. And in. And up. And spread. And up. Stay there and just put some more pressure on either side. Okay, so you're going from side to side. Okay, and now stay low and try to feel the first and the fifth metatarsals, okay, just the part of the ball of the foot, poking into the floor and your heel, okay? So we're trying to form these three arches, okay? And then back up. Okay, relax. Okay, so take your feet off the ball and just see how what your foot feels like. I'm gonna go down again. Okay, so roll down and up. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the heel. Okay, it's not exactly the heel; it's in front of the heel. Okay. So it feels a bit more like the center of the foot, but you go back a little bit. So you're almost at the heel. It's the front of the heel. Okay. And the same thing you can do with the stick. Okay. Just stand there. It's quite a massage. Again, it really depends on the ball that you have. And just sort of let yourself, get into there. Okay. So I'm sort of tugging my heels towards the floor. One side and then the other. Okay, and then I'm tilting my feet inwards and outwards. Okay, tilting in, out, in, and out. And you can find your rhythm. It might be quite felt over there. So let yourself sort of, again, relax and melt into this. Okay, I think that my feet are already used to these balls and their toughness, which is not as strong as tough as other balls might be. So I know this might be a bit much. Okay, so again, we're tilting in and out and trying to stay in the center. Okay, so find the center of your heel, which is right behind it, right behind the ball. And again, first, fifth metatarsals. Okay, and again, we're gonna bend low. We can lift our arms up a little bit, stretch. Okay, keep your ribs nice and open. And elongate and roll down again. Try to see if you might be going a little bit lower. Okay, in your roll down and then roll back up again. One more time, inhale, exhale, roll down. And when I roll down, again, I have to see how I feel on my feet, okay? Whether I'm putting more pressure in the front, in the back, okay? And trying to spread the whole tripod evenly, and I'm rolling down. Inhale, and exhale to climb back up. Okay, and again, step off. See how you feel? Okay, and just let your foot sort of sink and relax into the ground. Okay, and now we're gonna move to really the center of the heel. So again, you can be doing this on the bar. Maybe I'll do it this time on the bar. Here, on the stick. Okay. And just stand there for a few seconds. We'll do some arm motions going up and reaching one hand and then the other, or one rib, one armpit, and opening up a bit. And every arm I send, I'm actually sticking the heel into the bar. And the other side. Okay, so the whole side that's that's lifting up is also poking down into the ground. And one more on each side. And two. Okay. Great. And also over here with the weight on the heels, we're going to do another roll down. And try to bend your knees and see how deep you can squat. Okay. It gives a little bit of an alleviation to the Achilles, which might be short. It lifts us up a little bit, so it's a bit easier. And then again, go back down and roll up. We're going to do it 2 more times. Okay, so again, inhale. Exhale, roll down. Again, I'm pointing my heels into the bar or the balls, whatever you have. Heels, heels, heels. Squat. Try to open up your body if you can. Lift up your arms. Let your pelvic floor relax. And again, roll back down and up. Last time. In. X to roll down. Bend your knees. Lift the chest. If you can lift your arms, that's great. Relax the neck. Okay, and come back again. Okay, and now, again, try to step without this and feel your feet on the ground. Okay, so there's a nice sort of good feeling, right? Your foot feels a bit wider maybe. Okay, and you yourself might feel a little bit taller, and let's give this a bit more of a sensation. So we're gonna just sort of rock the ball very, very gently in every corner of your foot, okay? Really go to your toes, between your toes a little bit, and very, very gently, okay? So we're just addressing these superficial nerve ends. Okay, and just giving the sensation, which sometimes is lacking because we're constantly standing and pressing on it. So we need something a little bit lighter there. Okay, and then I'm going to the ball of my foot, going sideways. Okay, and you can also do this with a stick, of course. Okay, so go, here's the stick. Okay, and even here I can do it as gently as I want, even though it's a bit harder. Back and forth, and I'm tilting my leg inwards a little bit, outwards. Okay, so get a complete massage. It's actually more efficient with a stick because it's wider. Okay, and then just stand. And again, just see how you feel on the different sides. Okay, there's somewhat of a lightness that you get just from doing this sort of very, very gentle massage. Okay, so again, I'm using the stick, but you can use the ball or whatever. Okay, and you go to either side and the toes. Okay, going more to the center of the foot. And further back towards the heel, a little bit the front of the heel, and on the heel itself. Great. Okay, and also here, I'm just gonna stand and let the feeling get sort of absorbed, okay? And one more time, we're gonna do a roll down. And again, try to notice if you can go down a little bit further maybe. Okay, so inhale and exhale, we're looking down and rolling, okay? Just see if you get a little bit more out of it, okay? Inhale here and exhale, round up, lengthen through your feet all the way up. Okay, and now we also want to play with our toes a little bit. So we don't really need the balls, we can use them, but it's not necessary. And we're just gonna sort of play the piano, okay? So it's like, do, re, mi, fa, sol. And then the reverse, sol, fa, mi, re, do, which is a bit harder, for me at least. And see if you can really separate the toes while doing that. And we're also working on just spreading them out, which is not always easy. We got the bunion. So things that we can do, okay? And another thing to work out with the bunion is trying to grab a small ball or the stick between the toes. Okay, so there's that, or the stick. Can play with it. And if you get really good at this, we can continue on to the fly stick method. Okay, so see if you can grab onto the ball. And another thing, you can grab the ball really underneath your toes, you see, and lift it up this way. Okay, so that's something to do, to play with. And you can flex and point the ankle. This is quite the workout. Oh, okay, and of course you can massage your foot after this because it works. Okay, other foot. So it's between the big toe and the second one. Try to grab it. Okay, do some flex and point here. You can do circles. Okay, and then put it down and try to grab it with your toes. Okay, and hold it up there. If you can, flex and point, or you can do the sitting down. Circles, okay? So this is a foot workout. Okay, so that's it with the balls for now. And now we're gonna start moving a little. So when we walk, we want a few things to happen. You see, I take a step, I put the heel down, and then it's actually the first metatarsal, okay? First part, ball of the foot, and then the toes. And what happens in the back leg is that I reach the ball of the foot and then the toes, and this pushes off to the next step, okay? So I got the Achilles here, and I want it to be stretched a little bit. So I'm gonna work on just pushing off. You see, so I got the ball of the foot, and right behind will be the heel. Now try not to rotate externally like this. You see, so I've really got a line, a parallel line between my feet, okay? So I'm putting my heel down and coming up, heel and up, heel and up, heel and up, okay? At the same time, I'm also trying to stretch the front part of my hip, okay? Because this is another part that stretches, and then it'll let go and let me move on to the next step, okay? So heel and push off, keeping the hip open, okay? And then see how you sort of shoot yourself forward to the step. we'll change legs, okay? So I'm putting my heel, my feet are parallel, going back and forth. Okay, and I can let go a little bit, and then whoop, I move on to the next step. Again, go back and forth, heel goes down and up, and I'm really pressing into the floor with the ball of the foot. That's sort of a jump too, which we'll do later. Okay, and then whoop, I move forward. And you can really try and walk around and see how this works. Actually, with faster walking, we get the most efficient movement if we really use these Achilles and hip properly. You see, I can really just sort of go without a lot of effort. And now I'm going to start sort of pressing the ground and just letting my leg come forward. Okay, I press through the ball of the foot, ball, heel, ball, toes, ball, heel, okay? Up. And my knee just comes shooting forward. And boom, okay? So I'm really going boom, and press the floor, and more. Sometimes there's some sort of coordination issues with the upper part of the body. We're supposed to sort of go in oppositional directions between the bottom and the top of our body. Okay, so see if it's working for you. And try to shoot your leg higher up with pretty little effort in the front of the hip. It just stretches and then boom. Okay, up and up. Stretch your arms a little more. Okay, so we've got more of a workout. Okay, until we're gonna just stop in the air. Okay, and now we're just gonna send our arms nice and long, and think about that whole warm up that we did with the standing foot. Okay, so it's nice and spread. Okay, and then we're gonna open up, open our arms, rotate. So we're reaching the front arm in one direction and the back arm in the opposite direction, chest open, and then we're going to press against the leg if we can. Okay, so we got our balance going here. Nice. Let's see if we can let go and bring our leg back. Okay, and again, just try and find our balance here. Okay, see what you can. Some of us might wish to actually have the stick with us for the balance. Okay, and back. And we're going to change our legs. Okay, so again, we're bringing our foot back. The heel goes down, it comes up, and I'm pressing the front of the foot into the ground and down. Again, pressing, pressing. So it's not the lift of the heel. I'm pressing down, and again, I'm keeping my hip open. Hip open. Okay, hip open, and then it's just gonna whoop, spring my knee forward. And hop. Okay, so you really got the hop. I hope I'm not gonna blow out the candles now. Okay, and little by little, I'm actually letting my ribs do that counter rotation that I talked about before. And that is actually what swings my arms in the opposite direction of the front leg. Okay, so I've got my right hand and my left leg. And a bit more. Up and up. Exhale as you shoot up. Nice, and we're gonna stop suddenly and catch ourselves there. Okay, so again, lift your hands up, stretch from your foot all the way up. Spread your arms front and back, and let your ribs rotate. Try to stay there for a while. Nice long breath, elongate. Every time you exhale, feel a little bit longer. Come back. Try to bring your leg backwards. Stretch it. Doesn't have to be high, just back. Okay. and maybe come down a bit. Okay. Now, another part of the balance is this sort of side tilt of the ankles. So again, as I said, we can use the rubber band with this. You don't have to. Okay, and these tilts activate the entire length of the sidelines of our body, outwards and also inwards. Okay, so you can think of doing like this. See, with one leg, pulling up, pulling up. Okay, and then the other side. Okay, and now I'm just letting my feet bring my hips to the side that they're tilting. So I'm not doing like this. I'm tilting my feet both in the same direction, and up, my hips go to the side. And then other side. Okay, back and forth. Okay, and then I can exaggerate this with the hips. Okay, nice. And then I'm gonna tilt onto one side. I'll lift my arms up, and through the pinky side of the foot, the outer part of the foot, I'm lifting my leg up and down. We're gonna do this 8 times. Okay, so we got the whole sideline working. 7, 8, lift the leg, and now we're gonna bring the arms to the other side. Whoop. And pull away from yourself. Okay, so my foot is flexed. I'm pressing against the corner of the room, the bottom corner of the room, the opposite direction with my hands. And again, here we're gonna try and lift and lower. So again, you might want a chair to hold on to. And circle around a bit. And in the other direction. Nice. Okay, and again, we're gonna whoop, tilt ourselves to the other side. Okay, and first we bring our arms towards the foot, press down the first foot, okay, the one that we're leaning on. And then we're just gonna lift and lower the leg, flexing out and away. 8 and 6, 7 and 8. Lift up and away to the other side. And again, lift and lower here. Got a little bit more of a range of motion. Okay. 7, 8, and circle out. 3 and 4, and the other way around. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Okay, and you can just stretch the hips a little bit and circle around. Nice, and in the other direction. Again, I'm moving from my hips. Good. Now we're gonna just give ourselves a little bit of a massage to the thighs. Okay, so I'm sort of running down the legs. And I'm placing my hands right above my knees and just going straight and bend. Okay, so also here my ankles get some motion. Okay, bend them straight, and we can circle around in one direction, warming up the knees. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Okay, and now we're gonna bend all the way down. No, so the heels come up. Of course, you can use something to hold on to. Okay, a chair. And then we're gonna try, if you have to split a little bit, I do sometimes, to put your heels all the way down. Whoop. Okay. And then come back up with the heels. Okay, and then it's easier to straighten the back. So again, I'm putting my heels down. Deep, deep squat. And lift up. Okay, really got the center working here. And again, down and up. Hands go down. We're going to straighten our body, our legs if we can, and bend, and again, let go. And down, whoop, with the heels. Back forward, heels come up, hands go down. And now we can bend one knee, and we're really letting the hip fall down towards the bent leg. And open up one arm. The arm, excuse me, of the straight leg, the straight knee. Okay, and the other side. So we're going to let the hip fall down into the bent side, and then open up the arm of the straight leg. Okay. All the way back down. Inhale and exhale as you roll up. Okay. And now we're going to separate our legs. Okay, and we're going to start again with the heel down and up. Heel down and up, down and up. And we're going to get a little bit more of a bounce here, but we're shooting our leg backwards now. Okay, so shoot up, keep the balance. And shoot as hard as you can, but keep the balance here, okay? Stabilizing the front of our body. And again, up. Keep the balance, and up. And one more. And nice. Keep there. Bend the front knee and the back knee. Okay. Now we're going to place our hands right above the knee and shift forward. So also here we're going to get that stretch, the front of our hip. And see if you can lift up the back knee. Go back down and forward. Now, if I flex my foot, I get more of the stretch around the hamstring and the knee area. If I point the foot, this is really, really good for those who have the flatter arch here, okay? It really makes that arch work, okay? So again, shift forward, try to lift up the leg, the knee, sorry, bend back down and lean forward, up, back down, and forward and up, down, and back, flex, down, and forward. Nice, and one more time. Okay, and whoever wants and can, we can whoop, press down. So putting our arms down, our hands down, and trying to stretch up a little bit with the back leg. So at this point, I'm trying to keep my hips square, but I can also sort of rotate the hip and come back. And again, the height of the leg doesn't really matter. I'm rotating around the hip. See, so it can be lower, it can be higher. And when I rotate, I can also bend the knee and get a bit more of that hip extension and roll back in. Send it back, open, bend the knee, and roll back in. One more time, open, and try to get yourself back up from here on the front leg. Whoop. The balance. Okay. Other leg. Okay, so it's a bigger split. And again, I'm starting just with that motion from the back leg. Up and point. And make it sharp and catch yourself in the front. And again, back and point. Catch yourself in the front. You see the point of the foot is really the essence of the jump. And up, right? And one more. And you can bounce forward a little bit. Preparation for the next one. And then bend the knee, bend the back knee. Okay. Hands on top of the knee and back. Okay, so again, you can try and point the toes. Not exactly the toes, it's just curling the foot forward, or flex. Come forward, shift the hips forward. The hips come forward. And then with the flexed foot in the back, I try and lift up my knee. Okay? Lower it. Go back down. Flex. Back down. Forward, shift. Knee comes up. I'm trying to keep my hips square. which means facing forward, okay? And again. And back, up, sorry, down and up. Nice. Okay. And from here, putting my hands down and trying to straighten up for the front leg. And see if you can stretch the leg to somewhere. Keeping it square at the first point. And then when it's enough, we can rotate the hip. I'm letting the leg go a little bit sideways. And come back to square. Rotate. And back. And rotate. And back. And then I'm adding the knee bend to the rotation. And really rounding my body in. And again, extend. Rotate around the hip. Bend the knee. And inwards. 2 more times, straight, up and rotate, bend the knee, and curl in. Last one, stretch, rotate, curl back in. And again, try to get yourself back up, hopefully on 1 foot, 2 feet, perfectly fine. Great. Relax the feet. Okay, and now we're going to be bouncing a little bit, so we can start just on our feet. Okay, so the bouncing is actually just like the walking, right? Because we got the heel, the ball of the foot, and then the toes that are pointing in the back. So when I want to jump, I also have to feel like I'm a spring that's being pulled, okay, from the Achilles through the bending of the knees, keeping the chest up. And then in slow motion, it's ball of the foot and then point at the end, as if I don't really want to leave the floor. Okay. So I'm going to do, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 and push. Okay. It's 1, 2, 3 and push. 1, 3 and push. 3 and push. See, I help myself with my arms. 2, 3 and push. 2, 3 and push. 2, 3 and push. And really letting my legs also be very bouncy. Going, going. And whoop. 1, 2, 3 and push. 2, 3 and push. And we're going to make it a little bit more in a row. So it's down and up, down and up, down and up. We can do about 10 of these. Hop and hop and hop. Okay, so I'm really pointing my toes. 8 and 9, 10. Okay, we can of course do endless variations. Okay, whatever we want. Okay, but we're going to relax our feet now, and we're going to start going downwards to use our arms as a base for our legs to go up. Okay, so let's do a nice roll down. Exhale, and we're going to walk through our hands until both our knees are down on the floor. Again, you can use some cushioning. We're just going to warm up our wrists by rotating our hands in and out. Okay, just get it nicely warmed up. Good. Now, before we go into the jumping, there's another thing that is really good for ankles to get some stretch. Now, I know some people can't really point their feet, so through the ankles, okay? So this might be really hard. Using a cushion underneath is great, okay? So I recommend that. And also trying to press your ankles together, okay? So you see, I don't want my heels to fall outwards like this. I want to gather them together behind me. Okay, so just practicing that is great. It also works. You can probably feel on the outer part, okay, of your foot. Just working on this. If you've got that, you can lift up a bit. Also gives a nice stretch to the quads. and also flex, and then pushing back towards the heels. Okay, I'm not lifting, no, I'm just pushing the floor forward and it's bringing my butt backwards. Okay, and I'm flexing my feet. So I'm gonna roll, point, and up. Again, trying to keep the ankles close. Roll forward, flex, and push the floor away with your hands. If you really want to be more advanced, then you can use a stick or a chair. Okay, and play with this. Okay. So again, all these things are really warming up our feet, our ankles, getting them ready to be nice and springy. Okay. And now we're going to go up. Okay, so again, our hands should be warmed up. And in any case, when we put our hands down, try to feel that you're reaching into the tips of your fingers, okay? And you're not landing just on your wrists, okay? So I'm sort of reaching out. I flex my feet and I'm lifting up, okay? And here, the feet can be slightly separated. And again, we're just gonna bend our knees and straight, and bend and straight. Then the heels can come up a bit. Bend and straight, and bend and straight. We can do some walking. So I'm lifting both heels, and one heel comes down, the other stays up. And again, it really gives a nice stretch under the toes. Lift up both heels and change. Up and change. Up and change. And you can increase the rhythm to whatever is good for you. Getting that good stretch behind the toes. Okay, and then we can start running a bit faster. Tick, tick, tick. And again, thinking about that, the pointing of the toes as we leave the floor. Okay, so we've also got a bit of a shoulder girdle workout here. And of course, the core. And we're breathing. Great. Okay, we can relax just a little bit. Go back to the point if you can. Relax the arms, and for the grand finale, we're gonna try and jump. Okay, so get your arms nice and relaxed. Okay, and again, it can be teeny tiny little jumps, just sort of tick, 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 like water drops. And you can, if you're safe, you can really work all the way up to the handstand. Hopefully not fall over onto the Chanukia. Okay, so you ready? We'll shake our leg a little bit, whoop, and lifting up our butt. And we can start point and point. So it can be slow. You can bend your knees. Okay, so it's a really fast motion as we go higher up. And again, it can be here. And just play with it according to your ability, okay? Up, nice. Give it a bit of a shake. And we can just go down and relax a little bit on the back. Let your legs sort of relax and all the blood flow back up into the body. Okay. Take a nice deep breath here. And you can let your feet go down and just let your legs fall down to one side, spread your arms. Other side. Nice. Okay, roll up to the side. And that'll be it for today. Are there any questions? Naomi? How are you?
I'm good. That was great. Thank you so much. I know for me, I live in Manhattan and I walk and bike so much every day to get around, and I don't think about my feet. I don't know the last time I did.
We breathe every day. We don't think about.
We don't think about
our breathing.
My feet, probably needed this very much without my knowing it. So I definitely feel it's like you never think of doing a foot workout, but it's actually a very smart idea to do a whole class just focused on your feet.
Yeah, it's, it could have been a focus on so many other things, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's very interesting, really, also understanding the connections. It really goes all the way up, to our sides, to our neck even. And but that's our, really the base of everything.
No, I mean, if you don't have strong, healthy feet, then it affects everything.
I know, and we, I really think about preventing falls. That's, the number one.
Yeah, well, I applaud your not falling and damaging the Chanukia and causing a fire in your home. So, good job on the balance there. We had one question in the chat. Someone who has arthritis in different parts of her body. She mentioned her shoulders and her knees. Is there anything you recommend for that?
Yes, what we did might have been a little bit harsh for things like that, for arthritis. Okay, I do recommend keep the movement going, and it doesn't have to be harsh. You can just, even work like this. Play with your fingers, play with your elbows. Just get the motion in, and then really little by little see how much you can increase. Sort of think about it. See how you feel the next day. Work gently, but keep the motion throughout the joints. Okay, everywhere you can think about. You don't always think about the toes, and why not? They're just getting sort of scrunched inside the, your shoes. We don't use our feet. Walk barefoot. I started doing that. Really, I go on trips, and then I'm like, wait, why am I even using my shoes? And I'll just take off my shoes, and the whole experience is so much better. And you activate your feet, and you find that you're even activating the center of your body. Maybe if you're afraid of stepping on something, suddenly you're like, oh, wait a minute, wow. I feel my abs now, just because I'm sort of afraid to put the weight on the foot. So, it really gets you going, like much more than you would think, just by walking with your feet. And I think even the grasp of your feet is much better than that of the shoes, if it's a slippery surface or a soft. And the experience is so much, I can't describe it. Yeah. Like walking on sand, walking on stones, the temperature is different. It's amazing. And again, it's really good for everything, So
yeah, I know.
Of course, you have to be careful not to get, pricked by something.
Yeah, I know a lot of runners who now are buying these running shoes that are
the barefoot,
the barefoot shoes that are really mimicking the soles of your feet, because they're saying that shoes are not that good for you, actually. So the more that you can sort of mimic barefoot walking and running is, the better for your body.
Definitely. Yeah. And really it runs all the way up. It can help knee problems and hip problems. So yeah.
How often do you recommend doing these types of exercises on our own at home? As often as possible.
As often as possible, really. You just have to find the things that you love to do. And I just think that there is, I just say, it really gives an additional thing to be aware of what you're doing. Not just lift, not just go up and down and bend or straight your knee, because you can really get more out of your workout when you really think and you're aware of what you're doing. That's my recommendation, but just find what you love to do and do as much as you can. Of course, being aware of what you can do, your abilities, so it's always a game. It's always sort of a testing thing. But
well, I know for me, I'm going to be using this ball. I mean, this was amazing. Just the simple ball that costs, I think.
Yeah. And, you can get a massage anywhere you want there.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
a free massage.
Make it, yeah.
Right. No, but especially when you're traveling.
Yeah.
I'm traveling.
What type of balls? So I know it's not really easy. I actually bought these on, AliExpress. You get like 100 of these for, I don't know, $30 maybe.
Wow.
And they're really great. It's made of, it's a spongy, it's called paltziv in Hebrew at least. It's like the yoga blocks, more or less. It's sort of a tough sponge. Sure. And actually my daughter wanted to see what's in it. So she cut one in half. She took a knife and cut it. And then if you have, a lower arch, then it's more comfortable. It doesn't sort of poke you inside, and you can get used to it until your fascia, the connective tissue softens out a little bit, your muscles, nerves sort of let it happen. And, then you work your way into harder materials if you want.
Yeah, so I know some people want to know what kind of ball you use. I think we're able, if people write us at webinar@aifl.org, not only will we send you a copy of this recording, but Becky will hopefully send us the link to the type of balls she has and she used and recommends. Yeah. And so we can share that with you by email after this webinar. Just send us a note. You can see in the chat the instructions to do that. And Becky, thank you so much for today. I really enjoyed this foot massage and workout.
I would love to make like a package of all kinds of good things, and then then everyone would have it. It's not like, try to see what's easy to buy. I can really make a package. With one of these really long bands, which are kind of hard to find. Yeah. And these and all kinds of, there are the fit balls. There's so many things that can be used to, really get a good workout. So if anyone wants, that would be a nice.
Yeah, that's a great idea. A nice Hanukkah or New Year's present for your friends and family. And we will, so we'll be sharing that with you. I know we're already getting a lot of requests for the recording by email and in the chat. We will share that with you as always after today's presentation. Becky, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your last night of Hanukkah with us and for getting a good workout in with us. And as always, we try to do a Pilates session with Becky around once a month. Our next session, we don't have the date confirmed, but it will be sometime in the spring in 2022. I can't believe we're already in 2022 in a month. So we will be doing some more great workouts with Becky. Thank you all for watching with us in Israel, in the United States, and around the world. Hopefully you all enjoyed this. It looks like you did based on all the comments and feedback that we're getting. And as always, we are doing these webinars twice a week, every Wednesday and Sunday at noon Eastern. Our next webinar is this Wednesday, December 8th, focusing on Shankar, an institution in Israel, the title of which will be An Historical Review, the Melting Pot of Israeli Fashion. So we haven't done a fashion webinar in around a year and a half, and I'm really excited to be showcasing some of the amazing fashion that comes out of Israel this Wednesday. And next Sunday, December 12th, I will be co-hosting with our executive director, Wayne Firestone, a special 2-hour webinar, which will be a fundraiser, a telethon, starting our end of year fundraising campaign for the America-Israel Friendship League. It will take place from 12 to 2 Eastern. You'll be getting invitations by email and by social media. So thank you for joining us then. And thank you for those of you who are already supporting AAFL. And for those who do not yet support us, we would love to have your financial support, not only for the end of the year, but for this 50th anniversary year that we've been celebrating all of 2021. Any questions? Again, you can email us webinar@aifl.org. And we look forward to seeing you this Wednesday and next Sunday. Thank you all. Have a great rest of Hanukkah for those who celebrate. And we'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Shalom.